Hey, what is up, you guys? This is Eric with OzoneTCG. We just had the Albaz Strike structure deck set contents leaked in French. We're going to go ahead and take a look at it right now. So, the contents was leaked. It's not supposed to come out for approximately almost 2.5 weeks from the time of recording this video. But someone ended up getting the product early. It's in French. So maybe over in European Union, who knows? We have the full set list now. We know every single card, and it is almost the exact same as the OCG. Really, that's not what we're going to take a look at. We're not going to really focus on that. We're going to kind of speculate on some of the rarities based on some of the past structure decks, especially the Cyber Dragon deck, the Cyber Dark Cyber Dragon deck. That's kind of similar to this product right now in that it focuses more on a couple of themes rather than just one kind of theme. So let's go ahead and take a look at the list in French first. I'll go over everything, and then we'll go ahead and take a look at some of the other structure deck lists that we've seen before. So right here, you can see that we have everything similar. For those of you guys who can't read French, I can't read French. I don't know anything about it. I was just looking up all the names. Everything in this structure deck is the exact same in OCG except for Ice Dragon's Prison. So yes, we got, of course, Safer, Artifact Scythe reprint, Ghost Ogre, Effect Veiler, and number one thing that I'm excited about is Pot of Extravagance. It's still like 20 to 30 bucks in the TCG. Here it will be reprinted though, so we did keep that reprint as OCG had it. Only difference here is Warning Point. If you guys can see kind of in the trap card section, we have Warning Point instead of Ice Dragon's Prison, and honestly, I think that's fine. Even that, of course, that would have made it a lot better. It would have made it even more insane. Just the reprints in the set, though, are insane both for the TCG side, TCG Advanced format, and Common Charity for those of you still playing it. A bunch of these cards are going to be in Common. I think Safer, Ghost Ogre, and Effect Veiler are all going to be common. Effect Veiler is already reprinted as a common for Common Charity. It's always been legal in that format. But Safer and Ghost Ogre are going to be huge. That really does change the format a lot. There's a really good chance that Extravagance also gets a common print, or it could get a super print. Either way, if you're playing, whether it be TCG Advanced format or Common Charity, you're still getting a lot of value from these structure decks. Even though MSRP on them is $11 per structure deck in the US, $11 USD, that's still insane value. The dollar difference makes absolutely no difference in terms of the value you're getting. You're getting pretty much a semi-competent deck just by buying one, and by buying three, we're gonna have a deck profile on all competitive versions of the deck. You know, whether it be Adventure Albaz, Despia Albaz, or Pure Albaz, anything like that. We're also going to have a budget version where you just buy 3 decks and then, play from those. So you guys will see that in the next coming couple weeks. So stay tuned for those. But as far as this, again, we have everything but Ice Dragon's Prison. It literally doesn't matter about Ice Dragon's Prison. Would have been more value, of course. But this is, without a doubt, one of the best structure decks ever. And that's not something that happens very often. Literally, I think the Soul Burner structure deck was really good because it came with the Ash Blossom, came with most of the Salamangreat core, minus Sunlight Wolf, which came out in Savage Strike a couple weeks beforehand, and the Spellcaster, the Endymion structure deck, that was a really good one as well. The Machine Man was pretty good too, the one with the Machina Citadel. And some of the other new Machina cards. Those are really good structure deck too, but I think this is easily top 3 in terms of value. I mean, the reprints in here are just insane. Artifact Scythe on its own was a couple dollars. Safer, minimum, I literally just sold a couple of mine for 15 bucks a piece. Even though those were the Ultra ones, I also have secrets for, either even more. They're almost $30 at this point. But there's just so much value in here, it's insane. Albaz wasn't expensive on its own for the Ultra reprints in the previous 2020 tins or 2021 tins. But honestly, there's just so much value in here. I love it. This is the entire set list. You guys see it on the screen now. It's also nice that they still have Albion the Branded Dragon. I wasn't uncertain that they would have it in here, but I'm glad to see that it's going to be here. I'm sure it's going to be a common, or, at most a super rare. But that's kind of brings us to the next part of the video. We're going to go ahead and speculate on some of the rarities for this. Alright, you guys can go ahead and see here that we have some of the cards from here. These are the tokens. So Albaz Shrouded, Ecclesia the Exile, Tri-Brigade, the Two Virtuous, and Elabear the Wicked Dogma. You guys will see all of these as probably common tokens. These are all super secret in OCG. So this is directly from the Wikipedia page for Albaz Strike. Albaz Strike is the OC version of our Albaz Strike. And we didn't get the previous structure deck, the Overlay Universe, that has all the Utopia cards in there. Difference between OCG and TCG structure decks, for the most part, main thing is that OCG packs or structure decks have a pack inside of them. In this case, it had tokens, and something like Soulburner, the structure deck Soulburner with Salamangreat and everything, it had some of the extra deck monsters in there, Doolittle, Chimera, Salamangreat, Heatleo, Baylynx, things like that. It had those in there. These have tokens. Now, they come in either super or secret in the OCG, and they look really nice. I'm going to go ahead and show some of the super rare versions of them. I have them. I have every single one of these tokens. I'm going to show those in kind of a high quality scan on screen right now. You guys will see that. That was in the kind of the pack in here. I'm 99% certain they're going to be common in our version, and that's okay. They look really nice as supers. They'll look just as good in commons, especially those European print ones. Those are going to look nice. But you guys can see right here, we have all of the different cards that are being reprinted. We have the 2 of the Kaijus, Fleur-de-Lis, the Knighted. That's a really good reprint. Let's go ahead and take a look at this. So these normal parallel rares, they don't exist in the TCG. Parallel rare doesn't exist here. We either get those in common or super, sometimes ultra, but usually it's either common or super. And more often than not, it's going to be common. I think for this, the way I'm going to look at this is which card are the strongest. And Konami knows which cards are good. That's no secret whatsoever to them. I think Springen's kit is going to be a super. It's either going to be an ultra or super. I'd love to see it in ultra, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be a super. Or I could see Fallen of Albaz as a super for it. Definitely not Albion, because it's already been printed as a super in Dawn of Majesty. Fleur-de-Lis, I could see it as a super, but I don't think so as well. But one of the 3 new cards, at least one of them, is going to be a super or an ultra, pretty much guaranteed. And that doesn't happen too often. Usually, again, they will either be super or common. When porting over to the TCG, I think they're going to make an exception for Springen's kit, because that is objectively the best one of the 3. I could also see Mercurier as a super rare, but I could see it more so as a common, though. But they may go, with Ultra Mercurier, Ultra Kit, something like that, too. Unlike these Sword Soul Allies, it may be a super as well. I don't see it really being anything like a super, though, but I guess we'll see with those. Honestly, the only other super I could see, maybe Ghost Ogre. I doubt it, though. I'm pretty sure they're going to keep that as a common. Paradise Branded I could see as a super or a common. Braided Fusion, 100%. You guys can take my reward on this. Is going to be an ultra. That's what they do with all these cards. The Cyberdark Realm, the continuous tanky card for Cyberdarks, was an ultra. It was only a super. They're definitely going to make this an ultra, and it is the best card in the set by far. They're going to have that as an ultra for sure. So we'll refer to this video once the structure comes out. The other thing is Pod Extravagance. I'm pretty sure this is going to be a common. I think they're going to make it like the Endymion structure deck, where they made Pot of Desires as a common. I can see it really being a common in this case, and it's insane that they're having Extravagance, Called By, and Dark Ruler No More, as well as Veiler and Ghost Ogre. A lot of meta staples printed all in the same structure deck. There's just so much value. Same with Brotor, good for Dragon Link, which popped up recently, as well as Safer. I really don't think it's going to be Ultra. There would be no reason for it to be an Ultra. That doesn't really happen. Fusion Deployment had an Ultra reprint and a secret reprint, I believe, in the previous tins, but they made it a Super, and it was the kind of odd one out for the previous, the Cyber Strike structure deck. I don't think they're going to make it Extravagance as Super, though. But if they're going to make any of the generic cards Super, I think it's going to be Extravagance. That's basically what I'm saying. I don't think it'll be anything higher than that, though. Again, we don't have Ice Dragon's Prison. We have Warning Point instead. I don't think any of the traps in here, except maybe Branded Condemnation. The counter trap is going to be a super. I could see it being a super in that case. I kind of equate Branded Blade and Condemnation as the Salamangreat Rage and Roar, respectively. So Branded Blade, kind of like Salamangreat Rage in terms of how they're ordered in the structure deck. Roar came before, Rage came before Roar, because it goes trap and then counter trap. I think if they're going to make it a super, a trap, a super, it's going to be Condemnation, though. That is the counter trap that negates spell cards, trap cards, or monster effects that special summon if you control an Albaz Fusion or have 2 in the graveyard. Really, really strong cards, but I think they're going to do common and super, respectively, just like Soul Burner, and that's what I kind of want to take a look at in a little bit. with the difference between Cyber Strike and Soul Burner, because they are all kind of similar structure decks. We get everything else the same. 100%, again, you guys can take my word on this. Mirror Jade and Lubellion, they're going to be Ultras. 100%. They were Ultras. Even in the OCG, we're going to get them as Ultras too. That is definitely going to happen. That's what they tend to do. I could also see Albi in the Branded Dragon. That is the fusion from Lightning Overdrive. It is currently an Ultra and has not been reprinted since. I could also see that as a Super too. But definitely we're going to see Mirror Jade, Lubellion, and Branded Fusion as Ultras. So that takes 3 out of 6 of the Ultra categories. Maybe Kit. I could see Kit being one. So maybe 4. Mercurier, and I don't know what else in here. Maybe Unlikely Sword Soul Allies, or they end up reprinting Fallen with Albaz as an Ultra. I could also see that happening. The other kind of interesting card from the Cyber style structure deck was, what was it? Cyber Dragon Hers. Let's go ahead and take a look at it here. Yeah, so in the TCG, this is the TCG version, it came out last year in October. Had Cyber Dragon Hers as a super rare. Why they chose that as a super, I'm not entirely sure. I believe it had 2 printings before as I think a secret, either a secret or a super and an ultra previously from the Cybernetic Horizons back in 2018, then reprinted in 2019. You guys can see here, of course, Cyber Dark Realm. Like I said, that's an Ultra. 100% Branded Fusion is going to be an Ultra. Here it is. Fusion Deployment is an Ultra here. And then Imperm. Okay, so they did have, I forgot about that. That Impermanence was a Super, so I could see that, Branded Condemnation would be a Super, or at least one of the cards, one of the traps in there would be a Super. Cyber End Dragon. That was not one of the new cards, but Cyber Dark End Dragon was. I could see those. Cybernetic Horizon, that's an older card to a reprint. I could see those all as Ultras. That's what they came out in the TCG. I could see something similar as that to Albaz in there. But honestly, I think the Supers are going to be not as great compared to the Ultras, but there's just so much value in kind of all of these, especially this one. Honestly, you could be sold on just Impermanence with this. Let's go ahead and take a look at the OCG version of it. So you can see Cyber Dark Chimera, it was an Ultra here, but an Ultra here in the TCG, a super rare in OCG regions. Attachment Cybern was a parallel rare, again, converted to a common for the TCG. Cyber Eternal, I'm going to take a look at what that was. I believe this was a common. Yeah, this was a common here, and Cyber Dark Realm, of course, was the Ultra. Cyber Dark Invasion was a common. Cyber End Dragon, we got that reprint as an Ultra, and then common and common. Okay, yeah, I think those are going to be the similar ones. And then, of course, Ultra for Cyber Dark End. Cyber Dark Dragon, that was one of the reprints. So the one down there would have been the common version. Cybernetic Horizon, again, that was an Ultra here. So they tend to put, kind of the extra packs of their extra deck monsters, any of those extra pack cards, as hollows or commons, and exclusively, ultra rare or exclusively common, generally speaking, because Power Bond and Overload Fusion were both commons over here. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Salmon Great structure deck. So again, here's the pack that I was talking about. Stalio, completely forgot about that card. That was an Ultra. Balinx was an Ultra. And then Heatleo, this is the alternate art, was Ultra both in TCG and OCG. Here we go, Rage and Roar. Super and normal. Circle was, of course, going to be super or ultra. Looks like they went for super. I could see Paradise Branded being a super as well. I think that's going to be the case. And then Gazelle and Spinny, of course, best 2 cards in the structure deck for the Salmon Great cards as supers. So here, yeah, same thing. Circle, super, there we go. And then Rage, I don't remember if it got reprinted. I know a couple of the other Salmon Great cards like Jaguar and Fowl were reprinted in OTS, yeah. So here's the Ultra. So 1, 2, 3. We only had, looks like 3 Ultras, 3 rares. Yeah, TCG, sorry, 4 super rares. Yeah, so they've tended to increase over the past couple of years in how many Ultras you have, at least for this one, because this is like such a huge thing. Let's go ahead and take a look at the list again. Again, Mercurial I could see probably as a super at most, and Springen's Kit as an Ultra. I'm guaranteeing Branded Fusion, Lubellion, and Mirror Jade are going to be Ultras. 100%. That's pretty much guaranteed. I could see Kit as the 4th Ultra, and then 5th Ultra is up in the air at this point. Again, probably not Extravagance, and probably not Unlikely Swordsoul Allies, so it'd either be something like Albaz, maybe Fleur-de-Lis, or Tri-Brigade Recorder, something like that. Supers, maybe Paradise Branded, maybe Pot of Extravagance, and maybe Albaz, something like that, or Fleur-de-Lis, or one of the other reprints. Yeah, I mean, that's really what it is. And honestly, I'm excited to see this structure deck. I think, like I said, this has some of the best value in any structure deck history. Just how many reprints there are, you gotta buy 3. I mean, honestly, if your locals has them, for $30 for 3, if you buy 3, or $11 individually plus tax, cool. Get them. Get them at the discount. Get them at big box retailers like Walmart or Target, anything like that. Just get 3 of these. This is really good value. Even if something like Scythe gets banned with the next ban list, doesn't even matter. The value in here doesn't drop whatsoever. It's just insane. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section below. Again, we're going to have the Albaz Strike kind of guide for the competitive versions coming out this Friday. So you guys will see this April 1st. It's not an April Fool's joke or anything. You guys will see it then. And then the day of release, I'm going to show a complete kind of couple of versions of the deck. We're going to have a Despia version, an Adventure version, more of a pure version playing like Fright First stuff. And then later on, once Dimension Force comes out, we're going to have updated guides and lists using all the new cards, including the Therion's cards. So stay tuned for those. We're also going to have a budget using just 3 of these structure decks together, what you can make, then how you can improve it in the same video. And we'll go into more of the competitive aspects, why you need some of the cards in there. So stay tuned for those. This is Eric with OzoneTCG. I'll see you guys in the next one.